efferent artery coming into the glomerulus. And then out here, you could say proximal convoluted tubule. This right here is also a distal convoluted tubule from another nephron. It's just kind of showing relation. Remember, afferent, the blood arrives via the afferent artery and it exits via the efferent artery. Like this one for the nephron, you have Bowman's capsule and the yellow dot. Coming out of it in the yellow tube would be that proximal convoluted tubule. So it heads down into the loop of Henle, which drops down into the medulla, comes back up into the cortex as a distal convoluted tubule, before finally entering a collecting duct and dropping back down into the medulla. And these things are, the rest of it shows all of those same things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Could you go over the model of the kidney again?
So I'm holding it by the suprarenal gland. Notice you have two tissue types, just like the kidney. You have a cortex and a medulla. We'll get into details of that next week. You can see the renal pyramids. Remember, those are groups of collecting ducts that form these rays. Each renal pyramid terminates in a papillae that lies within a minor calyx. Minor calyces come together to form a major calyx. Major calyces come together to form the renal pelvis. Renal pelvis will drain via the ureter. You can also see a renal vein and a renal artery. And in between the pyramids in this region, we have a renal column. And this one showed the arcuate veins and arteries. We can also see those pyramid structures. We can see where they come down into a minor calyx. We can see where minor calyxes come together to form a major calyx. You can see the renal pelvis. You can see where it would exit via the ureter. And remember, this is the renal sinus. And these regions are the renal hilus. That's it. That's all.
Can you go one of these small models?
Sure.
Is that the one that's the best? Or?
This one is actually pretty good.
Okay.
This one's pretty good. So from this view, we can see the testes. We can see the epididymis. We can see the vas deferens coming from out of the epididymis, heading back up towards the body. It's going to enter into the abdominal cavity here at the inguinal canal. With the vas deferens, we'll run testicular arteries and veins, nerve and lymphatic tissues. Vas deferens is going to continue along the side of the bladder as it heads towards the posterior side of the bladder, where it's going to run into the seminal vesicle. This is a ureter. Also want to point out the prostate. If we look at the cross section, again we can see the testes here. This is epididymis, kind of surrounding the testes. We have the bladder here. This is the prostatic urethra as it exits the bladder and travels through the prostate. This is ejaculatory duct coming from that seminal vesicle. Right in this region right here, it's not drawn very well in this model, but this region is where you'll find the bulbourethral gland. And we'll go out into the urethra, so we head to exit the penis at the glans penis. You can see the different erectile tissues. Here on the lower side surrounding the urethra is that corpus spongiosum. It also encompasses the glans penis. Above that, here in purple, we can see the corpus cavernosum, which is going to be the much more rigid of the two types of erectile tissue. And you can see part of the pubic bone. This is that pubic symphysis. That's it for that model.
Thank you.
Yeah.